Hello, everyone. My name is Yogesh Ailawadi. I'm Head of Product Management and Solution Engineering for Alert. This session is not a product feature description or a demo. This session is purely an education session on policy-based access control. And we'll go deeper. We'll understand what are the current ways where the security is designed, what are their limitations, and how we see the future with policies. Let me share my screen real quick, and here you go. As you can see here, we'll keep it short. It would be somewhere between 20 to 25-minute session, and you will understand the security design today. We'll keep it focused towards physical security. I know that security has similar concepts in IT and physical both, but anybody who is designing physical security or a security practitioner, they should be able to relate to this topic. So let's first understand what is role-based access control and why we need to think beyond this. What could be their current implementation limitation or design issues and whatsoever. So let's say to explain the problem statement, I start with a hospital example. There is a hospital, and there is a lady being hired as a nursing staff member, and that lady has certain roles and responsibilities, maybe helping with the different departments, pharmacy, surgery. She has to do a lot of work. She has to play different roles, but she has to access those buildings as well. And all that ties to what role she is playing. She is playing multiple personas. She is also working in different work schedule, working hours, and she need to have right access at the right time so that she can gain access to these areas. Now, if we see that 80 to 90% access which she has is all through job role driven, whether that role is defined in HR system or their scheduling system with the schedule or whatever system may be. So, and this is just one example. If you see example in other industries, let's say aviation, financial, technology, everybody's accessing those buildings, going in and coming out based on what they're supposed to do, right? There are very few cases where people are requesting some ad hoc access to a specific area and they get that access and the work is done, the access is revoked, but majority is all role driven. And if we think through the previous slide and try to see how that translates into the physical security domain. As you can see here, this is a typical architecture of our security systems. In the backend, right-hand side, we have physical access control systems with a database in it. And that database has users to access mapping. Who should access which door? These access are then internally mapped to readers and all that stuff. But the idea is I can only open some doors if I have access mapped in this system, right? And those get transferred into the panels. Panels have a temporary storage, and then panel is tied to a reader, and the reader is where people are communicating or presenting their credential. So let's see the example of the lady who was a nursing staff and see this implementation of security, how the whole thing is playing out. Now, if we just see the HR side of her work, she got hired as a nursing staff, working in certain departments. She might be changing certain roles and responsibilities, working a different schedule, may go on leave, may come back from leave. Each and everything is translating into users to access assignment in the server, right? This programming of access could be manual, or this could be automated based on PIM software or any other custom tools sometimes customers write. But the idea is you have to program that access to get the door open. That's the underlying architecture, right? Now, let's say if we have more people like her, they are all part of the organization, their jobs are changing, their work schedules are changing, and more and more programming supposed to happen, right? More programming means there are chances for errors, there are chances for audit findings, and some programming even may not be possible, right? If somebody is working 2 week shifts and every 2 weeks the department is changing, the time is changing, we end up giving them 24/7 access. We feel let's give it 24/7, we'll figure out if something happens, right? So that's the underlying design we think of in those scenarios. So this is how it can get complicated when we're talking about multiple people, departments, their jobs, and all that. And there is another layer of complexity, which is underlying prerequisites or compliance needs. In healthcare, you have a HIPAA need. If you're working for one subsidiary of a hospital, if you move to a different subsidiary, you should not have access to the previous subsidiary's patient data, right? Because that data should not go outside the boundary of that institution. You have trainings requirement, you have certifications requirement, to access certain equipments, areas, you need to have certain trainings current. You have background check need, it has to be always current. The vaccination is very common in healthcare, where if somebody's trying to access ICU or somebody's trying to access surgery, you may need to have certain vaccinations. But the idea and problem I'm trying to explain is programming is one side of the problem, but there are underlying prerequisites that impact programming, whether we should program or not. And these underlying conditions are changing on a everyday basis, right? So that may again translate into a bigger problem, and that bigger problem is how we make sure we are keep programming these access every time these underlying conditions are changing. So as you can see, this is the real life scenario. This picture is real life scenarios. And we all know this is how security functions, and we never questioned about it because has been, I would say, decades of practice which have been following for security, right? But is there any better way to take care of it? Is there any better way to design the security? That's the question we should ask. And that's this presentation all about, that if this is not the best way, then what is the best way, right? So before I take you to the solution, I want to show you one more problem area where when we talk holistic security model, there's always two principles comes into play: authentication and authorization. And both of them are very, very important for a good security design. If you have a security with good authentication, you maybe keep improving your credentials. You may be having multi-factor authentication, biometric, you may have mobile, you may have encoded chips and all credentials, all fancy stuff. But you are not concentrating on the authorization piece, which is, again, could be error prone. The programming may have not done right because of all the complexity which we have seen in the previous slide. People may carry 24/7 access because of the technical limitation and all that schedule problems. Somebody might have intentionally modified access in access control, or it could be hacked. But we don't have any clue on that side of the world. We are only focusing on prove who you are, and the door will open for you, right? So I don't feel this is a good security design, and I'm sure you all will agree with me that we are only focusing on this side. Is this secure, right? It is not secure unless we figure out the next rest of the half the circle, which is on the right-hand side. So then the answer, now we come to the part, what we feel could be the future of security design. And there are reasons why I'm saying that. I'll show a few examples and I hope you will agree to it. But the answer is policy-based access control. And the policy-based access control means there is no user to access assignment anymore. Everything is dynamic. When you assign access to somebody, it is based on certain conditions and underlying circumstances. Those underlying circumstances and condition becomes your policy, and people get access dynamically in runtime, right? How will that look like? It may look like this. When somebody swipe the badge at the door, And obviously, the badge is just one form, but credential could be anything. It could be biometric, it could be iris or the mobile or traditional badge. What the platform's supposed to do, or what the security design supposed to do, is find out everything about that person real time. Who you are, about your HR attribute, when is your termination date, what is your department, what is your title, your training status, your background check status. It will be finding everything, right? When this transaction is happening, during the day, during the night, this is off shift, this is in shift, is this over the weekend, right? And then what kind of door is being accessed? It is a perimeter door, or it is a data center door, it is a pharmacy door, or it could be any critical door, right? When you will have these three dimensions of data coming in, and you have policy created on this data elements, in real time, you are deciding whether the door should get open or not, right? So there is no user to access stored anywhere. It's just everything is real time. And the decision could be access granted, access denied, or we could throw in multi-factor. If somebody is coming in the middle of the night, show me your face, then the door will get open. But the idea is the security is dynamic. Security should not be a static stored data somewhere, which could be stale, which could be manipulated, which could be hacked, right? It is always dynamic. It is the zero trust, you can say. We until now we are seeing zero trust in IT side of the world, where you're proving who you are, but zero trust security is where you can make authorizations to a level where everything is dynamic and nothing is stored anywhere. And this is the picture which will give you an idea that how simplified security can it be. I'll show you my next slide, some examples that how easy it will become, how this can make everyone's life easier. So let's see a few examples from here. New hire policy. You created a policy that whenever somebody is hired in department A, the doors tagged with department A should get automatically open. That's it. One line policy. It will be taken care. No need of manual programming. Same thing for job changes. If people are changing departments, people are changing location, doors tied to necessary departments and location will get automatically open. You don't need to worry about creating an access group, creating access, assigning access, removing access. It's all dynamic, right? Termination, similarly, if your profile is terminated in HR, your door automatically will disable on you. It won't open. You don't need to manually take off someone's badge or deactivate badge. It's all dynamic. And I can keep going on. The work schedule policy. If you are working in a specific shift and the scheduling system say you work 8 to 4, door will only open from 8 to 4. It will not open beyond 4, right? Training certification expiration. If something get expired, underlying condition is expired contracts for contractor. Condition could be anything, and policy can be made on anything. And these are just examples. We can keep going on. And even the building and emergency policies. Let's say there is a fire hazard or the gas leak over the weekend, and we don't want any employee to come into building, but at the same time, we want all the security or the emergency crew members should come in. The policy may still easily say if the building status shows as a hazardous building, only people with security clearance, it will automatically open the door for them. It will not open for anybody else, right? Similarly, COVID-19 was the case. If you are seeing here, if we take this scenario back into 2020, where we had a mandate where only vaccinated people should come to office, what we were doing is, or as a mandate, everybody was doing it, keep checking the vaccination flag, keep asking people, and then keep programming their access in access control system, the enabling, disabling their badge, doing a wellness survey every 2 days or 4 days, and enabling, disabling access. I mean, this was a chaotic scenario. But with the policy-based access, runtime, it will check a flag. You have a vaccination A, you have vaccination B, you are trying to access ICU door. Okay, this will open for you. That's it. You created a policy and then you are done, right? So as you can see, there could be enormous opportunities to go beyond what we do today with the security with policies. We can't do it because there is a limitation on role-based access. Even scenarios like piggybacking, overuse of temporary badges, badge sharing, unapproved access if somebody just manually programmed something. Each and everything can be stopped. It's just about writing the right policy and just evaluating it at the real time, right? I know you might be thinking if we are or maybe analyzing so much data in real time, how the experience would be and all that stuff. I think those are the problem, I would say secondary problem. First, we understand, is this the design which can make your future life easy? It can make your future life proof of any risk and security threats, right? How we make it robust, how we make it frictionless, how we make it real time, how much real time, this all secondary problems. I have done few POCs with some of the vendors where the transaction time is coming out to be 300 milliseconds, which is with all these policies evaluation. And this is just a beginning, right? We are marching into this direction, and we are seeing tremendous opportunity and possibilities with this architecture and framework. So what we are trying to do, we are giving all the power back to the business security admins with this. So the business security admin who are in charge of standards, regulation, compliance, they will create policy rules based on identity attributes, assets. Assets means your readers and doors, and maybe time of the day or all those conditions. Once they created those policies and rules, you are done. You don't need to do anything else. You install readers. Readers will be smart enough, or the panels will be smart enough. That's again the technology thing we have to work upon. There are technology available which supports all this. And there is enough computing in those edge devices which supports this. So we are in the era where this is certainly possible, when we can do it. You install your doors and readers. You categorize those, where this reader is. Is it a perimeter door? It's a data center or a surgery room door or any other door? Any criticality of this door or any prerequisites around this door based on the criticality. Once you categorize this endpoint or the reader, rest everything is taken care of by the policy, because this reader or the panel might be talking directly to this policy engine real time. And what you are doing is you are enforcing the policies created by your business security admin real time. So you don't need to do any periodic access reviews. You don't need to do quarterly audits, because everything is real time, everything is dynamic, right? I know there was a lot in this. I think this should be my last slide, but you should have got this concept that what is policy-based access control and why this is far more powerful compared to what we have today, which we call it role-based access control. There are questions. There will be questions. How do we do it? I recommend you to go to our website, take a look. And we can have another session. We can have a personalized session to discuss the next step. But definitely, this is the way we feel the security can be taken to the next level. Thank you again. Thank you for your time today. I feel that I have covered a lot, but you might have got everything which you need, and we can touch base offline. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye. Forgot to mention, alertenterprise.com is our website, so you can go there and take a look at the different assets and resources on this topic. Bye-bye.